I'm back because surprise! I have this card. I got lucky on my first 30 tools. So here it is. Ta-da!
お前がこの世にいてくれたから俺は生まれたことを喜べるんだ。
Okay, let's hear the story first. Showroom. The show is about to start in 15 minutes. The banquet hall looks fantastical, with the wandering guest accessories glittering under the dazzling light. I heard the show has always been a trendsetter, so its tickets are always hard to nab. A client of my friend gave me one of the out of goodwill, but it really is wasted on me. You wander through the hall, all the little bursts of conversation that you keep hearing sound completely alien to you. Right now, you're in no mood to catch on. Instead, you try dialing Luke's number again. Still no answer. You sighed, inadvertently recalling what he said before leaving. Luke's home. Huh? Are you asking me to stay at your place? Luke nods, looking around the room.
生活必需品は多めに用意しておいたし、シーツも布団カバーも新しく変えておいた。他にも何か必要なものがあれば遠慮しないでいつでも教えてくれ。ああ、そうだ。スペアキーも増やしておいたから忘れないように事務所にも一つ置いとくといいぞ。
He has arranged everything thoroughly, leaving no room for negotiation. You suddenly have a bad feeling about this. What's with all this? Even if I forgot my keys, wouldn't you be around to open the door for me? Luke's gaze shifts away a bit, then focuses back on you apologetically.
悪い。ちょっと特殊な任務を受けることになって、これからしばらく出張になりそうなんだ。ここは住所も上に報告済みだし、セキュリティ面も万全にしてやる。お前がここにいてくれると、俺も安心できるんだ。だから、悪いけどしばらくの間、この家で我慢してくれないか。
Up until he's leaving, Luke seems to think that all you have to bear with sorry. Up until he's leaving, Luke seems to think that all you have to bear with will be the inconvenience of a sudden change in living conditions. That's not actually the case, though. It won't get through as suspected. I wonder how his mission is coming along and when he'll be back. You can't help but sigh. These thoughts and worries that leave you at such a loss just keep intensifying these days. You look towards the table where a package that just arrived the other day sits. Who sent this package and why did they send it to Luke? Luke should be fine, right? The unopened box occupies just under half the table. It marked with a big belongings on one side. After several times of the line failing to connect, you put down your phone and decide to take a seat first. An unfamiliar voice suddenly calls out to you from behind.
突然すみません。先ほどからどこか困っているように見えましたが。もしよろしければ私たちの席で少し休みますか。場所はステージ横にある VIP 席なので休憩がてら目の前でショーを楽しめますよ。
Huh? Sorry, A well-dressed man is standing in front of you and you're about to decline his abrupt offer. But when you inadvertently look through it where his gaze is pointed, you bite back all your words. How could that be? The person sitting there seems to be Luke.
どうされました？何も問題がないのでしたら早速行きましょうか。おっと失礼。自己紹介がまだでしたね。
He cautiously hands you a name card. His smile is kind, but somehow it sends a slight chill down your spine.
私は三川明と申します。ただのしがない商人ですので、皆さんと同様に明とお呼びください。
He then guides you to the seats near the stage. The booth is spacious, but there's only one person seated. The others standing there in black suits seem to be bodyguards.
レイブン、お客さんを連れてきたぞ。私の勘違いじゃなければ、君は先ほどからこちらの女性を気にしていたよな。この場で出会えたのも何かのご縁だ。せっかくだから紹介してあげよう。
Raven? Luke said he had to leave for a mission. Does that mean he's now in the middle of... Luke reclines on the couch. He throws you and Brad Patton a glance, frowning. His eyes are devoid of smiles when your gaze meet. All you see is an unfamiliar indifference mixed with a restrained ferocity. For a moment, you aren't even sure if the person in front of you is really Luke.
三川さん、それには及ばない。彼女は俺の女だ。俺たちはすでに互いのことをよく知っている。あらゆる秘密もな。それでもまだもう一度知り合う必要があると。
Luke looks at you and Brad Patton with a smirk. His tone sounds sassy. It's just you, but Brad Patton also takes a while to respond.
まさか本当に知り合いだったとは。美女に慣れてるレイブン坊ちゃんのことだから何か特別な理由があるとは思っていたが、それはそうと。知り合いなら先に教えてくれればよかったんじゃないか。そんな深刻そうな顔をしてどうしたっていうのだ。
Brad Patton looks over at you, Luke, then stares at you meaningfully. That's because while you're trying to make up an explanation, Luke suddenly rises from his seat.
三川さん、そんなの見ればわかるだろう。自分の女が他の男といたら誰だって機嫌を損ねる。それに
With that, Luke strides towards you, squeezing Brad Patton away and abruptly making an intimate move. You feel a tug at your waist before you stumble forward and find yourself leaning against his chest. An unfamiliar, cool and elegant scent lingers around your nose. And you cling to his shoulders. His muscular body under the well-cut suit still gives you a familiar feeling.
それに俺たちはまだ喧嘩中だった。そうだよな。
The hand on your waist simultaneously tightens, bringing about an overbearingly intense feeling that makes you tremble. Is Luke hinting at me? You quickly get into your role and snuggle into him, all smiles. You laugh without a word and didn't answer my calls or reply to my message. I thought you were seeing another woman again, so I tried to sneak up on you. Please don't be mad, okay?
ほう、俺のことをそんなに愛してると。
A teasing smirk appears on his face. You never expected to hear that from him. The rising tone at the end of his words sends your heart racing. Of course, I love you. You hear an almost inaudible sigh from him. The smile on his face disappears. He begins to reproach you, but his eyes are fixated on Brad Baden.
だったらどうして三川さんとあんなに親しそうにしていたんだ。全部ここから見てたぞ。
Brad Baden hurries to explain.
誤解だよレイブ。こんなことで私が揉めるようなことをすると思うか。
誤解だといいな。とにかく三川さん、次からはこういったことを慎んでくれ。あなたは俺の先輩にあたる人で、確かに付き合いも長いんだ。知っての通り、俺は独占欲が強くてね。特に男女のことに関しては、小さなことでも目をつむることができない。
それはもちろん理解してると思う。今回は私の配慮不足だった。すまない。
いえ、それとお前も。
Luke tightened his arms around you.
俺のことを愛してるというのなら、安易に裏切るな。わかったか。
It is only when you mumble a yes does Luke release the hand around your waist. The moment he turns back to his seat, he shoots you a glance, signaling for you to play along. I must cooperate so that I don't get in his way. You glance aside Luke and he beckons you forth.
来い。こっちに座れ。
Next side. As the show starts, Brad Baden instructed the people to bring over some expensive wine. He excitedly urged Luke to taste the wine with him, entirely ignorant of the exhibits of the show.
さあレイブ、もう一杯どうだ。
He motions to the waiter who refills Luke's glasses, then dismisses all the bodyguards. He swirls the wine in his goblet, his smile deepening as he looks over you and Luke.
ステージ上の輝かしい展示品たちを見たか。考えてみれば皮肉なものだ。本来なら日の目を見ることのない荷物があれらと一緒に運び込まれてるんだからな。レイブン、あれを運んでくるのには苦労したんだ。あまりケチくさいことはしてくれるなよ。
値上げでもするつもりですか？
Good, is this what Luke's mission is about? But why he's saying all this in my presence? Is he trying to probe?
何かとリスキーな取引だから当然対価は支払ってもらわないとな。それより荷物の保管場所について聞いておかなくていいのか。
Brad Baden looks at you and Luke almost scrutinizingly. Every bit of air where his cool gives whips feel icy. You manage to act cool while your brain works in overdrive to figure a way out. What should you do to not arouse his suspicion? You focus on acting nonchalant while Luke drinks his glass of wine at once. He tosses the empty glass on the carpet, then turns and leans in close to you.
荷物がどこに保管されていようと、最後には俺の手に渡る。違うか？それより、俺は今、そんな話をする気分じゃない。
Luke grabs tightly onto your wrist, then pins you on the couch. He leans down slowly. Amid the boisterous music of the hall, with his breath of hot and humid air comes his slow whisper in your ear.
抵抗して。
Sanity takes over and you brace your hand against his chest, trying to push him away. Now isn't the time for that. But unlike how it usually goes, he still clamps down on you no matter how hard you resist this time. I didn't know Luke was this strong.
レイブン、もしかして酔ってるのか？いくらなんでもここは公の場だ。それはさすがに人目につくだろう。
Brad Paddon gives Luke a kind reminder he can't sit by and watch anymore as more and more eyes start to look in your way. Luke nods dismissively.
俺は酔ってなんかない。
はいはい、わかったよ。
He beckons to the black-suited bodyguard standing in the distance.
ショーも見飽きてきたから先にレイブン坊ちゃんを上に案内してくれ。くれぐれも失礼のないようにな。
Guest room. Not only the first floor hall of the hotel, but all the rooms upstairs have been booked up by the sponsors of the show. Apparently, the rooms are reserved for distinguished guests coming from afar. Looks like that man named Pride is not average person. As you watch the bodyguards retreat from the room, you are about to ask about the entire situation. Luke suddenly gives you a hard stare, cutting you off before you can speak.
来い。ネクタイを緩めるんだ。
He sounds like he's giving you a signal, putting you on edge again. You walk over and hold his down when he leans down towards your ear.
さっき部屋に入った時に確認したんだけど、隅っこにあるあの鏡はマジックミラーだ。
A two-way mirror? That means although it looks like an ubiquitous everyday mirror on this side, it is fully see-through to the neighboring room.
そうなると、盗聴器が仕込まれてる可能性もあるから、確認が取れるまでは小声で話そう。
News makes you talk hard, Luke's style, pulling him closer.
ちょっときついかも。
Sorry. Luke gives a chuckle. He claps his hand over yours, his finger dexterously loosening the tie.
怖がらなくていいぞ。もう大丈夫だから。
What do I do now?
そうだな。俺に何かした方がいいかもな。じゃないと不審がられると思うし。
You know that Luke isn't going overboard with his requests. Based on how he acted earlier in the hall, it would be strange if you two just chat while sharing the same room, let alone when one of you is tipsy. But even though you rationally know what to do, will there really be someone watching on the other side of the mirror? You lift your slightly shaking hand and loop it around his neck. You can feel Luke tremble as your fingernail brushes over the nape of his neck. At such a close distance, his eye seems to be tinged with passion. A peculiar emotion, mixed with nervousness, floods your heart, making you forget what to do next.
やっぱり俺に任せな。
Huh? Luke carries you over to the normal-looking floor mirror in the corner. He places his palm behind your head and presses your back against the cool, smooth mirror.
これで俺以外、お前の顔を見える人間はいない。あとは俺に任せて、お前はただ話を聞いてればいい。
Luke leans towards your ear. The alcohol-tinged air and the wet, warm and soft touch around your neck sends you elsewhere beyond all the tension and fear. In this alluring atmosphere, what should have been with serious whisper is thrown into disarray by your breath.
ショーが終わりに近づいた頃、俺が隙を見てお前を連れ出す。今日は取材に来てるメディアも多いから、明るいところさえ歩いてれば、いくら見つかでも、お前には手を出さないはずだ。で、 警察が会場の外で待機してるから、車両ナンバーに AB065 と書かれてるタクシーを探すんだ。そしたら安全に家に帰れる。
What about you?
俺は任務を続行するよ。ここ数年俺たちはずっと三川をマークしてきたんだ。今度こそ例の荷物を出してもらわないと今までの努力が水の泡になっちまう。
Will it be dangerous? At the thought of how dangerous it might be, the box of belongings that arrived the other day suddenly comes to mind. You fail to ask the question that you already know the answer to. I'm not with you on this.
ダメだ。
Luke's arm around you tightens a bit. His sharp canine teeth graze your neck as if in a warning. You feel a tingling prickle that spreads down your spine. I can't live in this situation.
お前。
Seeing Luke hesitates, you seize the chance to turn the tables. Before he can respond, you push him down onto a couch in a blind spot, your hand tight on his thigh. I think Brad Padden is a very person. He kept trying to prop us earlier. You lean down and whisper to him. If you send me off now, it won't fit with how you acted before, and he'll definitely become suspicious. Since this mission is so important, let me stay so I can partially handle the situation he has on you. And if anything happens, you can pin all the blame on me and get out of it safely. You hear Luke's breathing come out harsher. You think you've been putting too much weight on him, so you straighten yourself up only to find his eyes a little red.
たく、なんてことを考えるんだ。
To lighten the mood, you perk yourself up and smile. Feeling too touched, aren't you?
笑うなよ。
Luke shoots you a rarely seen glare. Then you hear sounds outside the door, and soon Brad Padden allows himself in.
部屋からおかしな物音が聞こえたと警備から報告があったが、二人とも大丈夫か。ああ、これは失礼した。
Brad Padden takes notice of Luke's reddened eyes as well as the position you are both in. He chuckles knowingly.
まさかレイブン坊ちゃんにこんな一面があったとはね。
三川さん、できないなら無理にコメントする必要はない。
Under the guise of an act, or perhaps something else, Luke glowers towards the door.
出ていけ。
はいはい、わかったよ。でも遊びはその辺にして、早く手下を連れて一緒に来てくれ。何やらショーに数匹ネズミが入り込んだらしい。今すぐ移動しないとまずい。
わかった。
Next act. Suburban Mansion. Brad Padden's villa is located on the remote outskirts of Stellis, surrounded by high mountains and rugged roads. It's evident that this place is well suited for shady activity and serves well as hideout. I wonder how Luke is doing now.
悪いけど、1階の談話室でちょっと三川と話をしてくる。彼の不安を一刻でも早く消しておかないとな。俺が戻るまでおとなしくこの部屋で待っててくれよ。
He stuffed a mini pager into your hand.
もし何かあったらこのボタンを押してくれ。すぐに駆けつけるから。だから何があっても俺を信じて絶対に怖がらないこと。いいな。
You sigh growing more and more agitated as the clock on the wall ticks by. Just then you hear a few faint knocks on the door. Who could it be at a time like this? You hold onto the pager in your pocket and inch closer to the door. Who is it? Is something the matter?
Shh. 俺はアキラさんの部下だ。ちょっとした相談があるから開けてくれないか。
Right. Why would he suddenly send someone over while Luke isn't around? You hesitantly put your hand on the door handle without opening it. Oh my god, this. Raven isn't here. If you're really with Mr. Bright, then why did you come to me alone?
それはもちろん。彼らに聞かれたら困る話をしに来たからだ。あんたも頭が切れる人間なら、この機会を見逃すことの意味はわかると思うが。
What on earth is he up to? After much thought, you cautiously open the door. The person in front of you is rather young looking. He claims that his name is Blake, and he's one of those working for Bright Pattern, and the reason he's here is to seek cooperation. So what do you mean?
あんたとレイブンは特別な関係なんだろう。俺も長いことアキラさんの手伝いをしてきたから、いろいろとうまい情報を握ってるんだよ。だから俺たちさえ協力すれば、その荷物を運び出すことだって簡単なはずだ。荷物を売りさばいた後は金を山分けしてきっぱりと足を洗う。そしたら残りの人生は金に困らず生きていけるだろう。
You want me to betray Raven? Blake gives you a cheeky grin.
あのお坊ちゃんを相手にするのも大変だろう。刺激的なのが好みなら金次第でどうにでもなる。
Bright Pattern must have told him what just happened in the guest room in a strange way to give him such a misunderstanding. But it also looks like he's very close to Bright Pattern. To sway you, Blake even pulls out his phone in front of you with a smug wink.
安心しろ。俺だって手ぶらで来たわけじゃねえ。
Is this surveillance footage?
ああ、アキラさんの目を盗んでこっそり仕掛けておいたんだ。使えそうな情報が手に入るかもと思ってな。
You look at the phone screen. The surveillance camera seems to be placed in the corner of the room, facing the couch, giving you a full view of their conversation.
前置きは結構。三塚さん、例の荷物はいつ出してくれるんだ？
もうすぐだからそうせかすな。何せ価値のあるものだ。手に入れるのだって随分と苦労したし、裏でも表でもあれを狙っている連中は多い。それこそ確実に任せられる人間にしか運送を頼めないんだ。
そういうが、悠長に同じとこに長期間保存していて大丈夫なのか？すり替えられても知らないぞ。
ありえないさ。北区の7番通り倉庫は君も知ってるだろう。あそこは出入りすら難しい場所だ。
Upon hearing the name of the location, Blake shoots you an excited glance.
7番通り倉庫か。あそこは確かに難しいな。となると、あの坊ちゃんが荷物を手に入れてからの方が確実か。
While Blake's busy calculating his plan of action, you get a strange feeling gnawing at your gut. According to Luke, Bright Pattern is an extremely wary person. How could he possibly keep someone like Blake, who would easily scheme against him, by his side? Could he be testing me again? While you are considering your next course of action, something in the surveillance footage suddenly catches your attention.
君こそ十分な金額を用意できているのか？ここまで来て騙すなんてさすがにシャレにならないぞ。
安心していいですよ。かつての親父との付き合いがある以上、俺があなたを騙すことはない。
そうか。それにしてもお父さんのことは残念だった。どこのドイツが競合相手に情報を漏らしたのかは知らないが、そいつのせいで彼は。
Lutz looked distantly out of the window, his eyes as deep as dark abyss in the slightly blurred footage.
そいつにはいつか必ず叱るべき代償を払ってもらう。
Brightbaden sighed sympathetically.
ここ数年は海外で元気に暮らしてたそうだな。お父さんが今も生きてればこんなに早くステラシに戻ってくることもなかっただろうに。昔の君は明るい子だった。なのに正直今の君は私にもよくわからない。本当に残念だよ。
全てはそうなる運命ですから、あなたが残念がる必要はないかと。それに運命が外部の力によってねじ曲がるなら、自分の手で修正することだって可能だ。そうでしょ？
How did Brightbaden know Luke as a child? The content of their conversation is a bit different from what you know, but it does match up with most of the facts. Luke, across from the camera, wears an obscure expression, his hands clasped together. You stare at the phone screen, which looks just like a clean bottle that has blurred boundaries between inside and outside. However,
もし何かあったらこのボタンを押してくれ。すぐに駆けつけるから。だから何があっても俺を信じて、絶対に怖がらないこと。いいな。
no matter what, all I can do is to trust him. Blade seems to have taken your silence as hesitation before assent. He pulls in close with a cheeky smile, slinging his arms around your shoulder, which almost makes you sick.
ほら、迷うことないって。俺に協力すれば損はさせないからさ。
You try to choke down your discomfort while reaching into your pocket and pressing the button on the pager. To not arouse the suspicion of Brightbaden, who has been worried enough, you have to put what's between you and Blake on the table. Hence, with all your strength, you let out a scream that pierced through the whole villa. Don't touch me! Luke arrived fast before Blake could even react and pull away from you. He strides up, but then, as if thinking of something, he halts and stares at you and Blake with displeasure.
これは何事だ？
Seeing Brightbaden at Luke's heels, your mind races with the right reaction you should make right now. Raven, he just made a move on me! You spring up and throw yourself into Luke's arm as Brightbaden watches. You were planning to put on an act, but after recalling what you've experienced, you can't help but actually shed some tears.
あいつがお前に触れたのか？
Yes. Perhaps to stay in the character of Raven, Luke maintains an aloof attitude, but his actions are perceptibly gentler. He holds you comfortingly and speaks softly with his head slightly lowered.
怪我は？
No.
ならいい。で、
Before Bright Pattern could intervene, Lutz proceeds to kick Blake down to the ground. Then Lutz puts one foot on Blake's shoulder split, sending the collapsed man screaming.
アキラさん、助けてください。
レイブン、その辺でいいだろう。黒田にも事情があるんだ。
事情？会場でのことは三川さんに免じて目をつぶってやったんです。だが今回は違う。
Troubled, Bright Pattern looks at Blake on the ground, ultimately giving in.
であれば、今回も私に免じて許してやってほしい。彼に命令したのは私なんだ。
へえ。
Bright Pattern ends up revealing his inner thought. For having doubts about your identity, he sent Blake over trying to get your scheme out. I hope I'm the sole person Bright Pattern has suspicions of. You take a quick glance at Luke. He is reclining against the couch, his foot still pressing down hard on Blake with an inscrutable expression on his face.
疑うという人の感情は俺にもよく理解できます。
そう言ってくれると助かるよ。
Luke beckons you to sit on his lap.
だから俺も疑ってるんです。探りを入れるというのを言い訳に何かよからぬことを企んでるんじゃないかとね。三川さんも知ってる通り、俺は小さい頃に故郷を離れてるから、そのせいで愛に飢えてて、少しばかり心が狭いんだ。
He pats you back in a placating manner while putting more pressure on his foot.
いやー、痛いって。
Luke's actions bring Bright Pattern, who has just relaxed a bit, back to a troubled, frowning state. Now he shouldn't be able to have the time to suspect us. I didn't know Luke's such a good actor. You lean against him and look up slightly. Under those familiar eyebrows is a completely unfamiliar countenance. Subconsciously, you straighten your back out of nervousness. Next time. It looks like Luke won't let Blake go easily. He leisurely inflict upon the man punishments that do little harm but are enough to be a deterrent. Bright Pattern, who knows he and his henchmen are in the wrong, sees nothing else. All he does is stomp slightly in frustration. Finally, his phone rings to break the situation.
なんだと。
Bright Pattern picks up the phone, his face twisting even uglier than before.
どうして君があの倉庫を嗅ぎつけたんだ。いや、問題ない。気が済むまで調べさせたらいい。引き続き奴らの動きをしっかりと見張って、何かあったらまた知らせるんだ。
Warehouse? Is it a Seven Crossing warehouse where he said the goods were placed? While you are pondering, Luke stopped torturing Blake and looks coldly at Bright Pattern.
三川さん、まさか荷物を。
あ、いや、そんなことはないから安心して。7番通り倉庫はあくまでカモフラージュで、本物はそこにはないから大丈夫だ。
ということは、俺のことも試していたと。
Faced with Luke's blunt question, Bright Pattern lets out a few awkward laughs.
そういうわけじゃない。ただ、用心に越したことはないからな。
用心しすぎるとかえって損をしますよ。それより倉庫がフェイクだとしても、その情報を漏らした人間は確実にここにいる人間だ。それが一体誰なのか、三塚さん、心当たりはないんですか？
Luke presses forward without giving him much time to think.
光に集まってくる虫より影に隠れているゴキブリの方がよっぽど厄介だ。三塚さん、俺たちのことを気にかけてる暇があるなら、まずは配下の人間をよく管理した方がいい。
それは確かにその通りだ。
Brett didn't feign composure, but a droplet of sweat on his forehead completely exposed him. For him, having no suspect could mean everyone is suspicious.
早くあの荷物をここへ運んできてください。これ以上何かトラブルが起きた場合、こちらは一切支払いませんので。
わかった。急がせるからもう少しだけ待ってくれ。
Soon Brett hurries off with Blake, leaving the room in peace. Who was it that leaked the address to the police? Could it have been? Luke knows under your gaze. He stretches tightly, the dark expression on his face vanishes. He returns to his usual self that's most familiar to you.
さっきいろいろとやってたのは、例のニュースをあの二人に聞かせるための時間稼ぎだったんだ。あんな緊急事態が起こっている中じゃ、彼らも俺たちに構っている余裕がなくなるからな。
Sounds like brainwashing.
確かにそうかもな。たく一生分の悪知恵を使い果たした気分だよ。
However, Luke's explanation makes you feel anything but relief. You feel like you have a tune buzzing around your head that's already full of noise.
少しの間ゆっくりしてよ。三川はあの荷物の対処に追われてるし、今なら問題ないはずだ。
Okay.
盗聴器や監視カメラの類なら、あらかじめ俺が確認しておいたから安心していいぞ。それとも他に何か心配事でもあるのか？
The bedroom where you and Luke are now semi-open. Oh my god, semi-open bathroom. Perhaps to the delight of the host. After dropping the question, Luke takes a towel and rests it in the sink, leaving you at the foot of a terrace water.
温かいタオルは疲れを癒し、気持ちを落ち着かせる効果があるらしい。どうだ、少しは楽になったか？さっきはごめんな。部屋に入った時、本当はすぐにでもあいつを引き離してやろうと思ったんだけど。 お前ならそう言うと思ったよ。
He smiled in his resignation, noting his hand movement.
他にはどこに触られたんだ？
More than my shoulder, I suppose. He thought his speech was successful. He got carried away and the latter half of your sentence gets stuck in your mouth with his sudden action.
俺の質問に答えてくれたから、次は俺が答える番だな。
He leans over, gently pushing aside your hair. The towel caresses your neck along with his soft tasting. With the movement of his hand, you begin to experience an unusual pleasant sensation, enough to dispel the unpleasant experience earlier. Luke slowly explained to you the whole story.
お前は聞いたことあるか？真実が混じった嘘こそが完璧な嘘だって。100% の嘘は簡単にバレるけど、真実が混じった嘘なら相手を惑わすことができる。
Half truths. Are there also some truth in the lies Luke has been telling all along?
ここ数年は海外で元気に暮らしてたそうだな。お父さんが今も生きてればこんなに早くステラシに戻ってくることもなかっただろうに。昔の君は明るい子だった。なのに正直今の君は私にもよくわからない。本当に残念だよ。
全てはそうなる運命ですから、あなたが残念がる必要はないかと。それに運命が外部の力によってねじ曲がるなら、自分の手で修正することだって可能だ。そうでしょ。
So it's true that you've been away over the years, but you were staying in the capital, not abroad. As for your father's, Luke takes over as he senses your hesitation on this sensitive topic.
父親が存在してたのは事実だ。とは言っても実の父親じゃなくて先輩だけどな。
A senior?
ああ、天涯孤独だったことを理由に自ら潜入を申し出て、これまで何年も任務を続けてきた人だよ。で、最初に自分の身分に信憑性を持たせるために海外で暮らしている息子の存在を用意する必要があってさ。当然一般人を巻き込むわけにはいかなかったから、調査庁の中でも年齢が適してた俺に話が回ってきて、おじさんとおばさんに子供の頃の写真を送ってもらって、息子の写真としてそれを彼に預けたんだ。多分三川も何度か見てると思う。
When the towel massage is over, he folds the towel and pulls away from you. As the heat dissipates, you suddenly feel a coolness that you haven't noticed around your neck and shoulders, as well as a strange feeling of clinginess. You try to concentrate on what Luke has told you, but only a childhood photo was needed. Why did you have to be of the right age?
それは多分今日みたいな作戦を考慮してたからだと思う。彼がやり残したことを俺が息子として引き継ぐ。疑り深いあの三川でもさすがにここまでは予想できないだろうからな。
As you recall from their conversation, that father of his has passed away.
そうか。それにしてもお父さんのことは残念だった。どこのドイツが強豪相手に情報を漏らしたのかは知らないが、そいつのせいで彼は。
You suddenly think of the box marked with belongings. Without asking, you now understand why it was sent to you.
けど心配しなくていいぞ。 この件はもうすぐ終わるし、絶対にお前を危険な目に遭わせたりはしないから。
Luke gets up to put the towel away. You subconsciously grab his hand. At this moment, all you have on your mind is, you've been telling me not to be afraid, but are you yourself afraid of those dangers you face?
俺はもちろん。
Luke turns to you, his nonchalant smile stiffening a little as he noticed the cheery expression on your face. The rest of his words eventually come out as a sigh.
もちろん俺だって怖いさ。でもそれは悪いことじゃない。というより俺が日々の訓練で学んだ大事なことでもあるんだ。
Training. Although you were not there, you could imagine what it might be like by listening to his account. During the time apart, you often had memories of how he looked before he left. Young, inexperienced, and spirited.
訓練を始めたばかりの頃、俺は常に必死で力の加減が分からず、いつも先輩からこっぴどく叱られていたんだ。お前が訓練を頑張ってるのは自分の力不足に対する苛立ちからでしかなく、そんなのを理由にするのは間違ってるって。何せ力には際限がなく、人は満足できない生き物だから、そのままでは簡単に足を踏み外してしまうってさ。
Then, what did he think you should do?
恐怖のために努力してみろってそう言われたよ。けど俺は長い間その意味を理解できなくて、むしろそれまで以上にがむしゃらに訓練に取り組んでいたんだ。
At that time, alone and away from home, Luke places all his untold bitterness in that lonely fearlessness. He had an inevitable aptitude, along with it was the weakness of youth that didn't fit through. That is a side of him that you can hardly see now.
そして時が経ったある日、病院のベッドで横たわる仲間の遺体と彼らの体にあった俺のと似たような傷跡を見たとき、俺はようやく先輩の言葉を理解できたんだ。
Was it serious injury?
いや、訓練で負った小さな傷で数日で治るもんだよ。彼が命を落としたのはその数日後の任務でトラブルに巻き込まれてしまったからで、あの白い布越しにあいつを見た瞬間、俺はふと気づいたんだ。本来なら簡単に治るはずの浅い傷が永遠に消えない傷跡になるんだなって。
So you felt fear at that time? Bitterness permits Luke's voice, but that's not all. He tells about his youthful past from an adult's view, in a tune that's imbued with maturity and experience.
本当の意味で恐怖を理解できたのは多分その時が初めてだと思う。以降俺は明らかに失敗を恐れて、自分に何かあったらお前が悲しむんじゃないかって思うようになった。俺は恐れていることが多すぎるんだ。それから恐怖に対抗することが頑張る理由に変わって、俺は昔よりもずっと慎重になっていったんだ。
So that's why he has always been able to do his job with ease. During the time you were not there, he lived with fear and grew into the fearless man he's now. That's it. You look over at Luke. In a blink of an eye, it is almost as if you can see his younger self overlap with his current appearance. Without thinking, you yank at the towel in his hand. He has no time to let go and stumbles in your direction. You reach out to catch him.
どうかしたのか？
I'm fine.
そっか。
He bends down slightly, resting his chin on your shoulder. There comes a slight sigh in your ear, and then a few seconds of silence before he speaks again.
俺は最初恐怖も時間の流れとともに薄れていくものだと思ってたんだ。時間は一番の良薬だって言うだろう。だから時間さえ経てばお前も違う人に惹かれて俺のことで悲しまなくなるって。
That's nonsense. How could I possibly? Luke chuckles, not letting you go on.
ほんとその通りだよな。自分のことはよく分かってるつもりのくせに本当に怖いものが見えてないなんてさ。時間が経っても薄れるどころか恐怖は日に日に増していて、ついには生活にも影響が出るようになったんだ。
Huh? Before you can ask about it, you hear something ringing. Luke immediately straightens up and takes an unfamiliar-looking phone from his pocket, his face returning to its usual calm expression. What's the matter? Did something happen?
いや、大したことじゃない。いつかが各所に指示を入れたみたいで、夜明けまでには荷物が運び込まれるらしい。
That's great.
だな。
While nodding his head, Luke suddenly frowns and staggers backward a little. The phone slips out of his hand, falling to the ground. It still shows the bright SMS screen, which looks as white as his face. Luke, are you alright? You rush to catch him as you notice something's wrong. What? He withdraws the hand pressed on his temple, then gives you an unexpected flick on the forehead.
静かに。俺なら大丈夫だから。
But
でもじゃない。これは単なる薬の副作用でよくあることだから。
drugs? What drugs? You see Luke reach out to you again and instinctively close your eyes, but this time your forehead receives no more flicks. He puts his finger between your furrowed brows and smiles as if nothing's happened. These little lashes occur frequently as if to divert your attention, but they are now making you even more vigilant.
そんな深刻そうな顔すんなよ。安全調査庁が特別に作った薬だから大丈夫だって。お前も俺が先に弱いのは知ってるだろ。たった数杯で酔っ払ってすぐにくだらないことを言い始めるからな。だから今回みたいな任務に参加する前は酔わないようにあらかじめそれを飲んでおくんだよ。で、飲んでから5時間くらい経つと副作用としてさっきみたいな症状が出るんだ。
Does this condition last long? Luke shakes his head.
いや、シャワーを浴びて一眠りすれば治る。ただ、今回の任務は長丁場だったからな。症状が途中で出ちまったんだ。まあ、ちょっとしたアクシデントみたいなもんだ。
A shower? Alright.
温かいタオルは疲れを癒し、気持ちを落ち着かせる効果があるらしい。どうだ、少しは楽になったか？
Yeah. A hot bath would be good for his condition, I suppose. Thinking of this, you look towards the semi-open bathroom in the corner, where a white tub serves its purpose. So, wanna try it?
試す？何を？
Without a reply, you walk straight over and turn on the top's faucet.
これは何をするつもりなんだ？
Running you a hot bath, obviously. There's still a long way till dawn, and Brad Padden won't be able to get those goods over here anytime soon. Relax a bit now. It will help you successfully close the deal later. And didn't you say before that two people sharing a room and doing nothing together would be suspicious? You ramble on as if to cover up how flustered you feel deep down. Luke looks a little surprised at first, but gradually reveals a knowing smile because of your strange reaction.
浴室に扉がないのは知ってるか？
Don't worry, I won't peek.
何言ってるんだ。別に俺は見られても気にしないぞ。今のはただ
Sorry. He loosened his tie as he spake.
今のはただちょっと念を押しといただけだ。
Luke begins to unbutton his suit. His movements are natural, but you quickly turn around, still feeling awkward. Amid the sounds of fabric rustling and water splashing, hot steam gradually spreads out of the tube. Perhaps because of the rising temperature, your throat feels a little parched. It's getting increasingly stuffy in here. I wonder if Luke's feeling any better. You sit still on the couch with your back to the bathtub, counting the brush strokes in a painting on the wall. The room is quiet, with only the sound of water splashing as Luke changes his position. Some time passes, and then a resounding crash snaps you out of your chaotic thought. Are you okay? You immediately turn around and stand up. Ah. The cause of the crash turns out to be a bottle of shower gel that was on the shelf but had somehow rolled to the ground. But you don't have the energy to think about how it fell. You feel your mind go blank the moment you meet Luke's gaze while he lies on his back in the tub. Neither of you speak, seemingly out of some tacit understanding. You walk over in a daze, picking up the bottle of shower gel and putting it back where it was, when he suddenly reaches out and grabs you. The water surges and your back is gently supported. Nearly falling onto the tub, you somehow manage to sit on the edge of the tub inside, meeting his eyes. Given the circumstances, he's still in his shirt while in the water. The thin and wet fabric clings to his skin, faintly outlining the contours of his body. Are you feeling better? Does your head still ache?
ああ、だいぶ楽になったよ。
Luke brushes his damp hair aside, lifting his eyes up to meet yours amidst the steam. Even so, you can still tell from his slightly knitted brow that he's trying to hide his discomfort. A lot better, which means that you're not completely fine. You still feel pain, right? I've just been thinking about what you're truly afraid of, Luke. You feel pain, don't you?
いや、忍耐力には自信があるし、痛みにはそこまで敏感じゃないぞ。
Is that so? But I've realized that I get afraid whenever you feel unwell. Before Luke can react, you swipe the towel that lay beside the bathtub. Just like he did to you before, you carefully wipe over his ears and neck, which clearly flushed red. He reclined slightly, soft tights escaping his lips and missing into splashes of water. Then you repeat the question he asked you before. I heard that if you feel discomfort somewhere, You need to shift your attention elsewhere to relieve the pain. Are you feeling a bit better now?
確かにもうそんな痛くないかも。
Water drips from the tips of his hair. His voice tingled with the heat of the hot, humid air.
俺も聞いたことがあるんだけど、2種類の刺激を同時に受けると人はそれらを結びつけて記憶するらしいわ。
He tugs at the other end of the towel, forcing you to lean in closer. Some of the water in the bathtub splashes out due to all the movement, adding more steam into your surroundings.
これから副作用が出るたびにまたこの感覚を思い出せるようにしっかりと俺の記憶に刻んでくれないか。
The damp steam billows into your face, making you squint your eyes in sort of a daze. You reach your hand into the bathtub. As the heat envelops you, you faintly feel the water temperature still rising. How hot is the water? Luke's home. You and Luke return home safely after the mission. The first thing you do is to help Luke organize the box of belongings left by his senior. There isn't much aside from boots, it's just one small trinket or another.
なあ、先輩には家族がいなくて持ち物も任務のために用意したものがほとんどだからな。自分のものなんてめったに買わなかったと思う。それよりその体勢辛くないか？
Luke carries the box over to the table. He looks worriedly at your knees, which is wrapped in gauze.
膝の調子はどうだ？まだ痛むか？
It's alright. You saw it when you took me to the hospital. The wound wasn't that bad.
血が出てたんだからひどくないわけないだろ。
He puts on a seldom seen serious face, his eyes brimming with guilt. You follow his gaze down to your own knees that still ache dully, but you feel no regrets about it. It's the darkest moments before dawn when the arrest of Brad Padden is made that day. Seeing no possibility of escape, Brad Padden suddenly threatens to kill everyone with him by detonating the bombs he has placed in the villa in a few seconds. You instantly rush over to protect Luke, only to end up tripping and scraping your knee on the corner of a cabinet. Seriously, Rosa? Under normal circumstances, he would be anxious and sternly scold you for your recklessness. At the time, the situation is really urgent, leaving no time for anyone to retreat, so he says nothing and just holds you tightly in his arms. A few seconds drag past and Brad Padden, who's being held by the NSB members, laugh out loud.
バカどもが爆弾なんてのは全て嘘だ。私のように命を大事にしている人間がそんな愚かなことをするはずないだろう。最後の最後にいい茶番を見せてもらったよ。レイブン、君にはいろいろと嘘をつかれたけれど彼女との関係は嘘ではなさそうだな。
Luke slowly lets go of you, his gaze still on the startling wound on your knee. His face darkens as his body trembles slightly.
いつか命を惜しんでるという割にやってることは真逆だな。
Luke lifts his leg and regardless of the discouraging voice around him, kicks Brad Padden to the ground. If there weren't for the others pulling Luke, Brad Padden should have been doing worse than lying face down on the floor, coughing.
せっかちなのは相変わらずだな。君がレイブンとして見せた顔のどこまでが本当でどこまでが嘘なのかますますわからなくなったな。まあ あの子供時代の写真だけは本物なんだろう。昔の君は明るい子だったのに、今の君の目は私にもよくわからない。本当に残念だよ。
This is the second time he said those words. The first time he spoke to Raven, but this time he spoke to Luke. Luke, it's weirding me out when you keep staring at my leg. Quit it.
ったく、何言ってんだ。
Embrace Luke turns around and head to the kitchen instead. Where are you going?
喉が渇いたんだよ。お前も飲むか？
No thanks. With a chuckle, you turn your attention back to the books in the box. Huh? What's this? As you take them out one by one, you notice a photo peeking out from between the pages of a book. That's the photo of Luke as a child. The little boy holds a bunch of colorful origami flowers, smiling brightly at the camera. It was taken on Luke's third birthday. Is this the one that Luke had sent over to the capital? But why have I never seen it in the albums? You look over the photo, it looks unfamiliar, but you have a faint impression of the bunch of origami flowers in Luke's hand. All at it. That night, after rummaging around in your old home, you finally find what you are looking for in a storage container. Ah, there it is. Luke leans over curiously, then freezes.
急にこの家に戻りたいって言ったかと思えば、探してたのはそれか。
Do you remember this?
そりゃもちろん。なんせ、俺がお前に送ったものだからな。
He nostalgically picks up the slightly worn, wilted origami flowers that have survived the years.
あの頃、お前は隣の家の子に意地悪されててさ。でも、親に言ったら痛い目に遭わせるって脅されたせいで、何も言えないまま、毎日浮かない顔をしてたんだ。
Ah, I think that did happen. As the old memories resurface, you recall that the incident was ultimately resolved by all thanks to Luke. I think it was because you were always with me, so they gradually stopped bothering me.
そうそう。肝心のお前が言い返そうとしなかったから、ああいう方法を取るしかなかったんだ。一瞬でも目を離さないよう、かなり工夫したんだろ。この花は、お前を喜ばせるために作ったんだ。
Luke. Somehow you feel a complex mixture of feelings at this moment. You lower your head, and as your eyes inadvertently sweep over the old stamps in the container, you suddenly notice something else that's been under the origami flowers. Huh, this photo frame. You try placing the photo in the frame, only to find that it fits perfectly well. The bird on the top of this frame looks like peanuts.
あの頃にも休館長を買いたいっておじさんに話してたからな。もちろん買うのは年齢的に反対されたけど。
But they must have been hopeful about it. His picture frames look like a custom-made one. Look, I didn't expect you to give flowers to a girl at such a young age.
別にいいだろ。相手がお前なんだし。それに人生で初めて花を贈った相手が俺ってことになるなら、それはある意味記念すべきことなんじゃないか。
Well, yes. What is? You've always been so good at making things ever since you were a kid. This artificial bouquet is really lifelike.
実を言うと本当は本物の花を贈ってやりたかったんだ。けどあの頃は冬でカラフルな花を見つけられなかったから自分で作るしかなかったんだよな。とはいえこうして今日まで残っててくれたなら帰ってよかったか。
As you stroke the minor ornament on the frame, you feel a little remorseful inside. It was actually your birthday that day, but you had to think of ways to make me happy. I was so inconsiderate back then.
そんなの気にすんな。誕生日の人が誰かにプレゼントを贈っちゃいけないとかそんなルールないだろ。
Luke takes the frame in your hand and puts it back where it was. He then leans down to look into your eyes. The emotion in his eyes is like the undercurrent of the deep sea.
お前がこの世にいてくれたから俺は生まれたことを喜べるんだ。俺は今までたくさんのものを失ってきた。けどお前だけは絶対に失いたくない。そのくらい大切な存在だってことにお前は気づいてるか？
A question can serve multiple purposes. And this one has all sounds more like implicit testing and temptation, given that there's one and only answer to it. I do know. You step up and hug him, pressing him against the edge of the table. Then, do you know that for many people, you are also a precious part of their lives?
俺が？
Well, I was just wondering why I haven't seen this photo before ever since childhood. Could it be that you never mentioned why you needed a childhood photo at that time, so mom and dad naturally sent you the one they like best? This photo was probably put in a place where it was most often seen outside the house, their workplace clearly. Over all the years, they've also been waiting for you to return with the photo to refill the frame. It was probably a similar case with that senior of yours. He probably cherished this photo so much that it's been kept in pristine condition. Luke trembled slightly at your words. These are just my speculation, but what's certain is that I have also been waiting for you to return.
そっか。
With a soft sigh, Luke bends down and buries his head on your shoulder. Then he murmurs like an angry child.
もっと早くに知ってればこんなに不安になることもなかったのにな。
Huh?
この間ははっきりと言えなかったけど俺が一番恐れてるのはお前が悲しむのはもちろんこの先時間が経っていつかお前が俺を忘れてしまう それが何より怖いんだ。この気持ちは日を追うごとに強くなっていって、俺は自分が思ってるよりずっと身勝手なんだなって気づいたよ。幻滅したか。
Not at all. I should have let you know earlier. Oh, you hurry to explain, but as you change your posture, you cause drastic grace looks like, causing a stinging pain on your knee.
ごめん、痛かったか。
Before you could say anything, Luke picks you up and sits you on the table with your legs dangling above ground. Luke,
ちょっと見せてみろ。
he bends down to examine your knees. He brows furrowed. I'm fine. It's just a little scrape. The wound should have scabbed over, so it wouldn't be such a big
そんな
problem.
こと言って本当は痛むんだろ。
Under the hazy, warm orange light, you cast your eyes and down at Luke and thread your fingers through his hair. You then blurt out something that surprised even than yourself. It does hurt a little, but I probably won't feel it if someone helped to shift my attention elsewhere. Luke follows your lead and looks up, with sparks lighting in his eyes.
じゃあ試してみるから俺に任せな。お前はただじっとしてればいいから。
He slowly rises and leans into you. The unwithering origami flowers are inadvertently brushes off the tip. In the dimly lit room, they still bloom as brightly as they did in the past.
やっと出たか。何かあったのかと思って家を飛び出すとこだったの。ん？食事会で気づかなかった？そっか。何を食べたんだ？仲のいい友達と一緒か？仕事の同僚と言ったのか。よかった。なんでもない。特に用もないよ。ただ横になってたらなんとなくふと思ってさ、また来てくれるかもって。どこにって俺ん家に決まってるだろ。こないだも泊まってるしな。そんで気づいたけど、いつの間にか俺の家にはお前の痕跡が多く残ってた。枕とかにもお前の匂いが残ってて、だから会いたくなったんだよ。俺の様子がおかしい？本当か？別に変なものは飲んでないぞ。お前が残していったドリンク以外は特に。アルコールだったのか？どうりでなんとなく頭がぼんやりすると思ってたけど、気のせいじゃなかったか。今笑ったな。分かった。飲めないのを知っててわざと置いてったんだろう。冗談だよ。ただ忘れてたんだろ。それに本当にその気ならとっくにやってるもんな。ごめん、今のは言い過ぎたな。酔いを覚ますためにちょっと布団で寝てくるよ。食事会が終わったらうちに来る？本気か？いや、そうじゃない。ただちょっと気になって心配してくれる以外にも来てくれる理由があるのかなってさ。とにかく待ってるから気をつけてな。鍵はあるだろう。そのまま入っていいぞ。
My god, seriously? Did I? Yeah, I don't. Oh my god, look at Rosa's hand. Oh no, okay. Okay, that is all. That.